So, as always, we'll just kind of hang out, look at the flow. It kind of quieted down a little bit here. Of course, after this morning when I figured, oh, we should have some good flow for power hour, then flow kind of slowed down a little bit, but kind of expected here, obviously. Market tide here, you're sitting pretty bid side on everything. All of your premiums are pretty much bid side. Out of the money's just out of the money puts are just pretty flat here. I mean, you're sitting at zero, they're almost going to be negative here, but seeing a lot of call volume here. Obviously, Meta's leading the way here, and then you got Google, Amazon for your puts, AMD, Nvidia, and strategy here. So see what's kind of coming in here. Just not getting the best flow, and again, it's a holiday week, so it's expected. But seeing a lot of MicroStrategy today here. These ones, again, you're just getting a lot of volume here on that same contract, so it's just kind of hard to get that full view until that open interest updates. But one of the interesting ones that I saw earlier here, those Nvidia 185 calls, the 12-12-25s. This is very, very interesting. There is a ton of volume on this one on the day. Obviously, have to see what carries over into tomorrow, but contracts did slightly kind of move up there for some of the day there, but just a lot of volume here. That is a really interesting chain, though, where you got to check that open interest tomorrow, but that was a very, very interesting strike here for me today, and a chain there. Yeah, that was your big Nvidia one on the day. And let's see, what else do we got going on in here? Some HPE calls, obviously weeklies, and pretty much a mid-fill here. Kind of lots of little volume in here. We can take a peek at that mid-fill. I don't like them being weeklies, though, just with that extended theta decay. And this one, your IV kind of drops here as well when you get that bigger size there. So I think these may be sells at the ask. And then your IV kind of comes up, just kind of chopping along in here. Yeah, not a lot of confidence in this flow as being a buy. But interesting there. Especially weekly. I mean, you're right at the money, so you got a decent move over Wednesday and then the half day on Friday. These would pretty much have to finish in the money to see any massive return, especially with theta. Theta's going to really kick in tomorrow as well. The Oracle puts here coming in a penny below the ask here. Decent size on this one. Let's kind of see what we got here. Pretty big multi-leg there, 24%. You're 10% out of the money. Getting a lot of put premium on the day. And these ones again. Not getting a lot of confidence in these ones here. This is when our flow starts coming in. You got the 6170 with your IV here. Let's continue to follow this up here. Then your IV starts to decrease here. I don't like that. And then your timing here, you can see that timing's all the same. IV continues to decrease here as well. Comes back up a little bit. And this, let's see, so I just want to make sure, so 155.23. I just keep an eye on that time here. So then the IV comes back up. Then you drop again here. So that second wave of contracts coming in here, not the same timing, obviously, but you do have another small increase in that IV here. So that one's just kind of following it. And then it decreases again. Yeah, I'm not getting the best confidence in this flow is actually being put buys, which could make sense. You're 10% out of the money. It's heavier multi-leg. You're down on the day. Yeah, wouldn't probably say anything looks too good on that one. Then those MicroStrategies again, just A lot of volume on these chains, so it's just hard to know what's in until that carries over. But 13% out of the money, 10 days. Not too far out of the money. And you're just getting not the best spreads either. I mean, again, pretty much essentially a mid-fill here. You're coming in at 165. Your bid is 135. Your ask is 185. So very close to the mid-fill there. BE puts. I know BE was down on the day here. This one, you got 656 there, and then 745 there. Just have to kind of see what happens on that. Again, these are weeklies. You're down decent amount today. Yeah, I mean, there just hasn't been a ton of good flow. Yeah, just you can see all the multi-leg stuff coming in. Yeah, really the only decent flow that we had, those coin puts at open, which you could have got a good little return there. So 216, and then came up and hit that 250 there for a high. So a quick little scalp return there. Still seeing a lot of net put premium on that one. It's kind of looking 7 days out. Yeah, that was your big spike there. And let's see. So then the XYZs from earlier, those made a good move today as well. Good move up on those. Then the riots as well, making it's a little decent move there. Nothing super large yet. Obviously some time on those. We're getting some dings, so let's go take a peek at what's hitting the tape. Nothing there. It's ETF flow here. Again, and this is a good kind of example here of just having enough screen time where you can kind of get an idea of what's happening. So these two IWMs come in at 209, 19 seconds, and then 34 seconds. I mean, the sizing is completely the same there. And then you, obviously on chains that don't have any open interest. A very good educated guess here would be these two are related. So when I'm always talking about you never know like what trade is part of a big multi-leg trade, this could be a good example here, because when you look at the chain, you don't see any multi-leg percent here. And you look at the put one, you don't see, 1%. It would be 100% if those two trades were connected to each other. These two, they don't register as multi-leg, but again, just kind of using that screen time and knowledge here based off that size and premium, these are more than likely related there. So that is actually a very good example here. I'm going to take a screenshot because I do want to post that here. Post that for a good educational example. That is a very good piece of flow there to kind of take a peek at. So I'm just going to save this for later. That is a good piece of education there. So that's kind of, I mean, it doesn't have to say it's multi-leg to be part of something that's multi-leg. Like this would be considered multi-leg, but it's not connected to each other. Nike calls, let's see. Your bid ask is 53 and 57. You're getting filled at 56. Good size. We know this is an opening trade. So net call premiums on the day, pretty flat now. You're up 3% on the day, 5% out of the money. Let's see if our tape tells us anything. Oh, I've had something in my eye for the last hour and I can't get this stupid thing out and it's just bothering me. So, okay, we have a spike in that IV here and we're seeing a repeated hits ascending fill. So let's go find that here. So 56, your IV's coming up. So ascending fill, so you come back up to 57 here at the end. So that's on some decent size and premium here. Now, the one thing I don't like about this flow again, keep an eye on this IV. 30.59, you drop to 30.34. Again, it's decent amount of size and kind of smaller premium, but you can see between that and our total premium for this one again was 184,000. So just kind of looking at that here, just trying to see where it drops, and then it comes back up there. So I mean, it's about 10,000 of that premium there comes in at that IV drop, and then you have that IV spike again. Probably not really a fan of these just with that IV drop, so your spot does come back up here to 57 and it increases, so that's where you're getting your repeated hits ascending fill. And your IV increases. Yeah, and you're up 3% on the day, 5% out of the money. Man, just looking at that tape. Yeah, I just don't like that IV decrease there at the end. And it's bouncing around here. I mean, even when you increase here, I'd have a little more confidence in it if that IV was a little higher than that previous 30.59 there. But I think these may be sells at the ask, and it could make sense because you're up 3% on the day. But from a macro standpoint, 17 days, obviously you have the holidays coming up, a lot of shopping going on. So yeah, something like that. It's, if you gotta sit and kind of dissect the flow like that, I just always tell people I pass it on to somebody else, let somebody else do it, and just kind of move on, because you'll find another piece of flow. Let's look at these HPQs at 12.19.24 puts. So a lot of volume on these already. And this one, definitely you would have to check that open interest tomorrow here, because you have candles that are 2,080 there, 1,900, 2,000, 2,000. So you have to, I mean, your candles are all relatively pretty much that same exact size. So whatever is going on here, for sure, is probably connected to each other. But you just have to see how much of that carries over into tomorrow. So, because this could be an entry, exit. You just never know until that open interest updates. But we'll see. And you're going to get, they're all coming in as block trades too, so you're not going to get a read on them either. Yeah, you're not getting any context clues out of this one. 510. Yeah, you'd have to double check that open interest tomorrow on these ones. That's an interesting one though. Let's see, ETF flows pretty light. Market tide, yeah, you're just essentially sitting flat here, and let me get to my sector flow. I can see how the volume is. Yeah, again, I mean, you see that volume today compared to that 30-day average. You are trading significantly below that 30-day average there. So healthcare, you're pretty much at it. Just kind of looking here. Financials kind of below. Obviously, we're going to get volume here within the next 45 minutes, but yeah, just not getting a lot of, just not a lot of volume on the pumps and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, and you just kind of see it in the overall market. I mean, we get a slight move up, but it's just that kind of choppy-ish, trendish movement where you don't get the super good setups that you're used to seeing. Let's see, what else do we got here? So another IWM here. Oh, no, that's the same one. How's our SPY premiums looking? And again, if anybody has any flow or anything they want me to take a peek at, feel free to drop it in the chat also. Yeah, I mean, your SPY premium's just bid side for both calls and puts here, and just kind of looking at it on a 7-day view as well too. I mean, looks like, oops, not 30 days, sorry. So you look at that 30-day, it looks like that net call premium gap there is filled as well. So now you have it kind of tailing off here. So now we kind of maybe looking for some possible downside. And just quickly looking at that chart too, you just see you're coming into a good resistance area here as well too. And that's just a very, very rough one there. And then holdings. Yeah, holdings, you only can check that same day on those, but call premiums at least still sit in ask side there. A lot of call volume. All right, let's look at QQQ here for MIG. Let me pop out of this, and we will actually start from here. Let's take a peek at QQQ for you. So premiums pretty flat here, obviously more call volume, but calls are still bid side there. Holdings, you're sitting bid side. I mean, obviously, right, almost at the same exact level there for calls and put premiums. Let's pop it back a little bit. Yeah, I don't see any massive spikes there on your net call premium, obviously, excluding back here where you kind of had a couple pops. Let's check it out, 30 days. Yeah, you're pretty, I mean, just kind of flat in there more so than anything. Contracts, everything's going to be 0 day. Let's go in here and kind of filter out the 0 days here. So your highest premiums here, let's do it by premium. And I would like to see at least, we'll do 0.7 for ask side. So your puts, that is a lot of premium on this one. Obviously big multi-leg percent on that one. Looks like a roll here to me, so they were in the 325.90 puts and they're rolling them out to the 618.590 puts. Believe here, let me take a peek. Where it looks like it's not even that. Okay, well, ignore me. See, this is why I don't trade spreads. I probably could have just popped down and looked too. So short put calendar. Well, it has it as a potential roll too. Yeah, I'm not a fan of spreads. But I would say, yeah, that's an interesting one, and we saw that. I always just pop them into the option profit calculator later. A lot easier for me to look at. Let's see, what else do we got here for QQQ? So that was the big multi-leg put. Let's just do single leg and see what we got here. Single leg, single leg, single leg. Where's my multi-leg percent? I want to... Let's do... Don't want it more than, let's see... oh no, okay, whoopsies daisies. So let's see, I don't want it more than 90. Okay, all right, we're just gonna look at it. I'm sitting and trying to do filters live isn't fun. Let's see, so multi-leg, I'm just gonna kind of look here. So let's see, you got a shorter one here, that 1128 620 here, that's only 1%, 2% in the money. Let's see, what else do we got? So that was a 3-day. So these could be just not a lot of volume here. We'll look at our highest volume ones on the day. So the short-term calls. Those came up and hit 30 there. Those came in 6,700. So obviously, again, and this is why some of this doesn't always pop into the ask side filter or ETF filters, because there's already a ton of open interest in here and you're only getting 6,000 contracts. You can't confirm if that's an opening trade or not there, or if it's just somebody from back in here closing, doing something there. Let's see if we can do, I want to see if it'll tell me if there's any new chains. Let's do a new chain. We're going to pop this down to 0.5. And not getting a lot of action out of that. Yeah, usually I don't look it up through that highest open interest feed anyways, but just kind of looking at your QQQ. And there's going to be so much flow in the QQQ, so it makes it a little tougher to search, and just kind of looking at your overall flow here too. I mean, this is your really only opener that I had on the feed today, the 1219 596 puts. 2% out of the money, looks like they're still in. Just kind of looking at that 2412, drops on one contract, not a big deal. Couple more drops there. Yeah, Ivy's kind of bouncing around on that one, even on that last piece there. Yeah, those could be sells at the ask there. Yeah, just kind of looking at that feed here. Some ask side puts. There's just so much volume on these two where you don't get that actual like whale you can kind of follow. I'm just kind of looking for your premiums. So some longer dated calls here. Messy flow though. Yeah, I'm going to say you're sitting pretty mixed here overall. Then you got some bid side calls there. A lot of ask side puts on the 605, the 1219. A lot of bid side, yeah. Big multi-leg. Yeah, I'm not seeing much for QQQ there. Not seeing much at all. Which, again, expected with the holiday week there. Some more IW. Nope, that's the same one. I've said that twice now. HPQ, again, let's see, 105. Some volume on the day already. Okay, we already looked at that one again, too. I heard a ding. I swore I heard a ding. Yeah, I'd say your flow's pretty neutral there. And just kind of looking at the net premiums on it as well, too. That kind of... I mean, they're sitting bid side, so you're just not getting that strong, essentially expected move bid side, just kind of expecting more chopper. So that's kind of the way that I look at it. People are getting out of puts, people are getting out of calls more so. Yeah, I mean, you're trading, QQQ is trading 1.02 times the 30-day volume. Can look at that for you. November 28th, 604 call. November 28th. I wouldn't swing anything over the swinging overnight's gonna be tough. Yeah, if you're looking at it, I would do it as a day trade, and I would not swing it overnight. I would wait till that next morning and wait for the market to open up a little bit, just so you don't get hit with that theta. Because if you were to get those November 28th, 604, let's just look at them. November 28th, 604, like let's just say you were and they are in the, obviously they're in the money. Come here. Like, if you were to get them now and you swung those overnight and we didn't have any change in the price at all, you're going to lose about $60 on that contract. So you're going to wake up and they're going to be $540-ish or so. And that's obviously with no move on the contract. But at least within the money, though, you're more protected. Now, like, if you were going to get, like, say the 610s here at 220, we'll say you get filled at 227. Your theta is the exact same as in the money. So, I mean, that you would have at least that intrinsic value on those contracts versus getting extra intrinsic value here and then getting killed by theta. So, that's that. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, you're up so much on a little trendy day, and it's just such a... You don't know what's going to happen overnight. And we do, tomorrow, have a little more data in the morning as well. We got durable goods. Otherwise, I think we have our weekly claims. Yeah, our initial and continuing claims too. So a little job data, some durable goods orders data. Give you a good look at employment and how many longer lasting goods are being ordered as well. Fed Beige Book in the afternoon too. So that's going to finish off our pretty much week. And then I don't think Friday we have. Yeah, we don't have anything Friday. So after tomorrow morning, you're not really getting any major catalysts. Friday is going to more than likely, barring any major news or anything, probably be a choppy, slow day that, I mean, you almost don't even bother getting up on Friday. Obviously, I'll be here on Friday, but that is a day for, I tell people, just sleep in if you don't want to sit and stare at a screen all day. Or if you're selling premium or something, yeah. Usually you know if you're going to trade, hey, our call premiums are now ask side, or all call premiums are ask side. Slightly. Yeah, you're just not getting enough today. It's these weeks. And the one thing today, though, we're getting pretty good breadth here. I mean, you got a score of 72.9, so you're seeing good participation in the market. More so, and just kind of popping here. I mean, you just see that. I mean, you got more names advancing than declining. That's all your market breadth is. It's just telling you how many stocks are advancing there on the day and or declining depending on the day. But Nvidia is the one that's getting crushed. Nvidia, Oracle, and AMD. Other than that, I mean, just energy is kind of down. Netflix. All right, TSM puts. Again, here you are coming in. Not the ask, not the bid. Leans more towards the mid there to me. And you had 3,000 contracts in there. You got a lot of volume down here as well, too. More than likely, probably related to each other. So you'd want to double check that open interest tomorrow morning. See if we get any clues from this. So 4702, so your IV is going up there. IV drops here. Continues to drop there. Yeah, these, my guess here, that original volume in there, probably coming off there. Have to check that tomorrow. Could be totally wrong. Just quick little guess there. We won't know until, obviously, that update in the morning. More micro strategies here, and again, another one just where you're having a lot of that volume and looking for that update there in the morning. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's kind of it for flow. Yeah, I mean, healthcare leading the day there. A lot of, that's all bullish. Ask side premium on that one. Who's leading that charge? So ISRG, SYK, WST, oh, that's a big one. Tech. Yeah, I mean, that's your clear side, and then obviously a lot of bid side there on the real estate there as well. Looks like that's a lot of bid side on that one too. Yeah, but again, I mean, usually 90% of the time, you're going to see a lot of this kind of just be that 50-50 mix anyways, but still kind of nice to see it because you'll see these outliers every once in a while. Let's go take a peek at... Let's go look at our market map. Geez, another high volume NVIDIA day. That is just the last couple days. I mean, lots of volume on NVIDIA there, and you're getting big moves on the volume too. AMD also getting a lot of volume. Google, pretty good volume. Tesla, good volume. CCC, or Carnival's back up after yesterday's beating. Keys. Yeah, these ones that make the bigger moves that you're not seeing the massive spikes in volume, kind of like NVIDIA and all these ones, keep an eye. I usually say I keep an eye on those just because typically you're up 9% here, and it's not a... Oh, okay, yeah, you got a high volume pump on that one too for that typical stock there. Yeah, that is and that volume even increased more as well today. Just kind of looking at that 30-day volume there. Yeah, you don't get a lot of volume. This is your kind of biggest day, so this is something. Definitely can always keep an eye out on something like this. A lot of call volume today. Seeing a lot of bid side call volume there as well too. Wouldn't surprise me if you're seeing some profit taking in there. And yeah, that massive spike in that net call premium yesterday, and you finally, I mean, it came and filled that, but now you're seeing that kind of dip off. Makes sense though after that pretty big run up. What else is looking good in here? Let's see. Chipotle's up a little bit. How's our volume looking on it? Eight times the normal volume today, so that is interesting there. So you're getting good volume, but yeah, just somebody... Yeah, these two are definitely related. I mean, look at that size there. 100% multi-leg. Let's see what... Oh, is this going to be the one that we can't actually see the multi-leg? Okay, here we go. So it's going to be a no side fill. We're just going to look at this for some fun, though. It's definitely not a roll, obviously. So they're straddling that one. So looking for a move either up to the upside or downside there. Always interesting on some of this bigger moving names here. Man, if that flow feed would just pop in a couple names here for us, that would be wonderful. We can look at Meta. So let's see, your net premiums by expiration here. How are we looking down here? So a lot of calls on that 515.26. Just kind of looking at those strikes in here too. 1290, that's a little far there for me. But yeah, a lot more bullish net premiums there. We can always change that here, so let's see. I keep it on net premiums usually. Yeah, so your expiration, a lot of net call premium on those strikes. So you can always just kind of pop that chart open here too and just kind of see what name is getting hit there with that longer by that expiration, that strike. So let's see how else is meta looking here. Yeah, good spike in that gamma today. Makes sense on your little pop up there. Heard a ding. Let's see, nothing. Let's see, what other one should we'll look at Amazon too. Yeah, this is why I didn't do a live stream yesterday. Yesterday was even worse than today, so I was just like, yeah, we're not gonna even do anything there. So, like Amazon, my net premium here, a lot of net call premium here on the 12/18/26. Seeing that 250 call being hit there. So that's interesting. So like I can, if I wanted to look here, so the 12/18/26 Amazon expirations. Let's go look at the chains here. Oh, and I'm gonna forget the chain off the top of my head here. Let me go back. So I'm gonna keep that open. Let's see, where is my chain, my option screener? If it's not under this one, where's my other open interest? Don't do a ton of searching by this, but let's go find it. Nope. Okay, we're gonna try like this. So we are looking at the Amazon 12/18. Amazon 12/18. Nope. Oh, you're gonna be picky with me. 12/18. 12/18. That's why it wasn't coming up because I typed in the wrong date. No, I did. I did the right one. Oh, 26. I was like, what am I missing here? 12/18/26. I knew I wasn't crazy. Like I knew I was a little crazy, but I was like, why is it not popping up? And now it's gonna load slowly here. Okay, we're gonna take a peek this way. It's not gonna cooperate with me. So let's see, multi-leg. Let's find our higher volume here. So I am seeing that 250 call, and I believe, yep, so there's your 250 call. So it looks like that is your one being hit there. Let me get out of some of this stuff. So you can see we don't always come well prepared for the streams. So there's been a lot of volume on this one. A lot of open interest as well. So it looks like that is a major contributor to it back here. That no side fill. Let's go 90 days back and look. Okay. So no side here. All right, let's pop this into the profit loss calculator. I keep looking outside. We're supposed to get like 8 inches of snow tonight, so I'm waiting for this snowstorm to start here. So you got a limited loss, unlimited gain strategy here. So yeah, essentially no decent side on that one. Suppose I could have just came into the options chains and looked too there. So it was the 12, 18, 26. I said, see, you could have just came in here and looked instead of me popping around for nothing there. I knew I was in like the right area, but I'm like, where the hell am I looking at? I think the yellow implied move kind of threw me off there. So the 250 call there, yeah, you just easily click that and it'll kind of show it. So 2,000 on the bid side there. 46. 41.20. That is really below the bid there. Out of them in the money though. Let's see. I was looking at the call actually. Clicked the wrong side there. So yeah, this is that one that we were just looking at that had that volume there. Not getting a super good read on that. Let me close that. So our other under our net premiums, let's see what else we had. The 515.26. So let's go look at that. 515.26. So that one is seeing your open interest here. So that 37 put there. Take a peek at that. So it looks like a lot of that came in here on the 10th. So that's gonna have to go 30 days on that. Oh, that no side one there. Let's continue taking a peek here. So it looks like we had a big drop in open interest there, yes, or today. So we're gonna take a peek at what happened in here. So that's today. Let's look at yesterday. So yeah, you can see a lot of that volume, 11,000 on the day. You had a drop of 57.53 here. So just kind of trying to dissect it a little bit here. Yeah, had probably closed about half of their contracts. It looks like, because you have not the full drop in open interest, but so, I mean, you had 11,000 contracts traded on the day, 5,000 of them dropped off. So this guy probably got out here or sold some in there, then somebody else is holding the rest of them. So yeah, nothing on the Amazons there. Okay, let's go back over to the flow feed and see what's coming in here. So Apple puts, okay, we got some Reddit calls first. We're going to work our way up. So I'm not coming in right at the ask there. But we'll take a peek. You're up 12% on the day. Multi-leg 9%. $2.72. So yeah, that IV's just kind of drops when it comes in. And actually, you got some bigger size here as well, 1140 or 1441. Okay, let's take a peek. So that IV and the IV is going to be skewed on this. You're up 12% on the day, so IV is going to be a little skewed to the upside. 61.32. So yeah, your IV is technically increasing now. If this flow came in by itself, I'd be more comfortable looking at something like that. But 3 days out, you're up 12% on the day. More than likely, you're taking advantage of that IV, but never know fully. I mean, you could have another 5% run tomorrow. You just never know, but from a first standpoint, I do not see anything I really like too much in that one. So let's pop back to the Apple puts here. So again, smaller size against a lot of volume on the day already. We'll see if we can actually pick something out, and we can. So let's look at both of these candles here. So this one, okay. Got a kind of messier feed here. So, okay, earlier in the day, just kind of looking at that. So 2650. Okay, so let's get back to our time now. Oh, we got to get back up here. Okay. So this is when our flow starts to kind of hit the feed. Is that multi-leg? Did I miss that? Yeah, 48% multi-leg. I was like, did I miss that? Yeah, it looks like these are... put debit spread there. So they want it to go down. So our flow is kind of meaningless here with it being ask side or big multi-leg percent there. But it is a put debit spread there. So we're gonna pass on that one. So if I calls, let's see, decent size. I have to check that volume here, see how we look at it on the day. So 41 here, so you got 2,000 contracts, you got 1,500 here. This is one you'd have to check that open interest tomorrow just to confirm how much of that carries over. They could be getting out at the ask here, but we will take a peek if we got any clues here. So your IV spikes, and again, being up decent on the day, 3.5%. Could be you got that IV possibly skewed there. And you do see here at the end, it's not a massive part of the trade, but IV drop there. Your spot coming in at the ask still. So I'm, again, not super confident when you've already had that big pump there. You do have some more bid side stuff kind of coming in a little bit after here. Very, very similar timing, and that IV drops again there as well. So yeah, not the best confidence in something that's already up that much on the day. Let's see. Carvana, this is going to be a block trade. Probably not going to be able to get any info out of this one. If it lets me click on it. 64.19, so that IV actually decreases when that comes in. So this 999 plus 1,000 contracts, I would probably say these are possibly related here. Just get you to that same size there, but again, you don't know for sure, but just kind of size wise, that would make sense for it to be a block trade of 1,000 versus 999. Probably just put in that fill there, and so yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's it. My guess is it's probably the bid here. Just you're filling at the ask there. So again, not super confident in that either. But again, you're up 5.5% on the day. Microsoft calls again, probably another block trade. Definitely an opener. Low multi-leg, 9% out of the money. A lot of put premium on the day, though. And you got your block trade here. It's not kind of giving a lot of info in there either. Yeah, just not a lot of good flow today. Just not a lot of good flow. And it looks like, where are we at? 610. So we have recovered almost all of that candle from the 20th there. Almost back up. A little lighter volume coming in though, so keep an eye on that as well. That's not always the best thing when you're getting those big rallies and lower volume there. And again, expected with the holidays. See anything else ETF flow wise? No, we are just dead quiet there, and you can see how those all the premiums kind of spiked there, and out of the money premiums still kind of spiking a little bit there, but still sitting bid side, and put premiums just chopping. Yeah, these guys still moving. Yeah, so the riots are up now, at least near the high of the day. XYZ probably also near the high of the day. Yup. Coin puts. Man, yeah, everything just pumped after that first day, but man, that would have been a quick, nice, good scalp on those. Uber calls as Uber's kind of flat on the day. Curious to see if the 500 here is an ad or what's going on. So that open interest tomorrow will be interesting on that one. Heard a ding. Let's go see Meta multi-leg. Called debit spread. So yeah, bullish multi-leg there on that one. Yeah, just these holiday weeks suck, as you can tell. I mean, they're good. They're good if you want to take a little break and get off the screen a little bit. But man, for the most part, it's very, very dry. And there's more of those 190 MSTRs. Let's go look at that trading view. Trading view. Let's go take a peek at Uber's daily. Oh, stop. I already have the trading view. Yeah, your daily. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that was a nasty red day back there, and it's not really following up much with the market, but if you could see, I mean, you are sitting on some support within the channel, though, obviously, just kind of looking there, you kind of bounce there, small little bounce there, but that daily channel, you're starting to kind of trend towards the bottom of it, it looks like. I'm going to kind of draw this out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting near, I mean, it's trending towards that bottom there. You might see us bottom out about that 78 or so, but you could see a small, quick technical bounce here as well, too, just off that support here. Yeah, you're pretty close to that support. Even could maybe drop her a little bit more there. About that. What I got, 82.40 there, which we would have hit this morning as well, then kind of bounced. So, I mean, you had two bounces off that level there on Friday, and then today, something to kind of watch there. More riots come. Right, multi-leg, coin multi-leg. Let's see, yeah, just these holiday weeks are brutal, very brutal. SPY coming back down a little bit here. A little red candle there, but still up, and yeah, 70 million. Let's see where we are on our sector flow now. Yeah, I mean, you're still trailing that 30-day average volume, but obviously those massive spikes in volume as well, kind of pop that up, but you're still sitting again a little bit below that 30-day. Everything else looks like, so we're beating the volume on everything. So on healthcare is the only one beating the 30-day, and and then communication services. Yeah, everything else pretty much just kind of close, but not there yet, and got 2 minutes left in the day. But yeah, that SPY volume really down there. Oh, we are getting a little kind of drop there in the close. Nothing. Minute left. Where we're gonna finish? Gonna come back down to support here. That's 674. I'm gonna get through this. Yeah, I mean, this is where most of your volume's coming in right now, obviously. More of those micro strategies. Yeah, I mean, this is very messy. Very, very messy. Alright, well, there is your close there. There's your close. Alright, everyone. Thanks for hanging out for the kind of boringer live, obviously. We'll should get back to some better lives here, obviously. We'll probably finish one off tomorrow, too. We'll see how it goes flow-wise, but... Alright, everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening.